ago, I recommended my favorite Star Trek novel, Ishmael by Barbara Hambly. That got me to thinking that I should reread it. But that got me to thinking that I should also share with you what I found as I reread this delightful mix of Western and space Western. But I repeat myself since it's Star Trek. I hope this series of videos will get you reading this book too. So think of this like a check-in with the book in progress. Compare your notes to mine and leave your ideas in the comments below. Chapter 2 is Unearthly Encounters in the Pacific Northwest.
In the heart of Seattle, beneath the Space Needle's gaze, where phrases psychoanalyzed in bygone days, Spock wanders freaks, sleepless romance, cast at Carly laughter, eyes zombie friends. Here come the brides, the timbermen lord, brought from afar on a hope's accord. Now Spock in Seattle, walking the same, finding the ties in mist and pearl game. I hear the blues at Callan, blow mix soup and Vulcan's ears.
As we transition from Chapter 1's chilling cliffhanger concerning Spock's fate to Chapter 2, the narrative introduces Aaron Stemple.
Aaron, before we go a step further, I must know what your intentions are.
Miss Clue, my intentions are strictly honorable.
Oh, well,
A man from Here Comes the Brides, a show depicting the importation of women to balance out a gender imbalance in the Pacific Northwest.
The bluest sky you've ever seen in Seattle, and the hills the greenest green in Seattle, like a beautiful child growing up, free and wild, full of hopes and full of fears, full of laughter, full of tears, full of dreams to last the years in Seattle.
A startling turn of events unfolds as Stemple discovers Spock's injured body, causing his horse to react in fear to Spock's green alien blood.
Stemple leaned forward and dragged the man up onto his shoulders. The man, creature, alien, was taller than he, but not so heavy. Still, it was a struggle to get him through the wet and slippery ferns up the slope to the road again. At the scent of unhuman blood, the horse shied, and Stemple, cursing, laid his burden down and went to blindfold the beast with his handkerchief against any further trouble. Between the unaccustomed weight of a limp, unwieldy body and the frantic jittering of the horse, it took him a good 15 minutes to get the alien slung over the saddle, secured like dead venison. By the time he was done, Stemple's coat and shirt was soaked with dew and mud and dark green blood.
Despite his reputation for harsh actions, such as foreclosing on widows and orphans, Stemple, however, doesn't feel justified shooting an alien visitor and instead brings Spock back to his cabin. As Stemple carries Spock to his cabin, he meets with Lottie Hatfield, who becomes a voice of introspection, and they reflect on how the blood color could trigger hatred in this era's bigoted society. This does not stop the pervasive dehumanization of Spock, however, and he is compared to a soulless beast, specifically a panther.
What is human, Aaron?
You tell me. I've met wealthy and educated gentlemen who didn't consider their own slaves human. I've looked.
He gestured toward the books that piled the room's wing chair and small table.
What makes us human and not beasts? He looks like us, Lottie, but he may have no more soul than a panther.
Back in the tavern that Lottie owns, the Bolt brothers indulge in unabashed anti-Indigenous sentiments that ground us in the world of the Old West. A glance at Lottie's hired help, described as a China boy, underlines the prevalent Orientalism of the time.
As Lottie had foreseen, the saloon was thriving when she returned there. Wu Xin, the China boy who worked for her, gave her a solemn little bow as she came through the door and took her heavy oilskins as she shed them. Half a dozen loggers were bellied up to the rough planks of the bar, and a little knot of mill, Hans was grouped around the larger of the room's 2 tables playing Monty with Joshua Bolt, who was cleaning them out with his usual quiet efficiency. Joshua's older brother, Jason, senior of the 3 brothers who jointly owned Bridal Veil Mountain, stood at one end of the bar. He nursed a whiskey and listened to Captain Clancy, just in from the San Francisco run, and holding forth about the possibilities of running a railroad from Independence, Missouri, through to California to replace the wagon and stage routes.
"It'll never work, Clancy,"
someone was saying.
"The Indians'll kill off the crews."
Listen, boy. If the United States Army could lick the rebels, it'll sure be able to lick the Indians.
But they'll never be able to get it across the Rocky Mountains.
Lottie, who has seen lynchings and who cares deeply about everybody, still doesn't see this particular racism within herself. The latter part of this chapter broadens the narrative, introducing the subplot involving the New Bedford women and a bet around the ownership of Bridal Veil Mounted.
But a trip like this is going to take a lot of money. Add up everything they've offered you. It won't be nearly enough. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make up the difference if you'll sign your name to a contract. So you got to agree to keep them here for 1 whole year.
I agree to that.
What if you fail?
I won't fail.
What if you do? What have you lost?
The subplot carries over elements from the TV show, but there are distinct differences. Here, the bet stipulates that the 30 women must be married by the end of the year. It's 100 in the TV show. As the chapter comes to a close, 2 suspicious men appear, investigating the town's happenings. However, heavy rainfall obstructs the roads, preventing Lottie from informing Aaron about these men. In Chapter 2, the narrative navigates from the uncharted vastness of space to the equally untamed frontier of the Old West. This is not an uncommon diversion in the Star Trek universe, reminiscent of such episodes as A Fistful of Datas, where the Western theme is prominently explored.
My God, you've been shot!
Now, with only primitive defenses, can Worf stop a gang of murderous outlaws?
And the TOS episode that is the gunfight at the OK Corral.
Well, I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Kirk.
The core character of Spock is effectively utilized here to highlight his alien nature, the theme often seen within Starfleet's crew's context. However, in this chapter, Spock's otherness is accentuated when he is found in the mangled, unconscious state by Aaron Stemple, revealing Spock to be unexpectedly vulnerable. In a socio-political context, this chapter critiques and highlights the prejudices of the Old West period. The character's reaction to Spock's green blood indicates deep-seated xenophobia, further emphasized by characters such as the Bolt brothers expressing anti-indigenous sentiments, and Lottie's Chinese employee being described as a China boy rather than a full person, though she does use his name. This illustrates the very prevalent Orientalism of Seattle at the time. The Old West, with its unfamiliar landscape and societal rules, serves as a mirror to the alien territories of space that Star Trek typically explores. This frontier setting reinforces the narrative's recurrent theme of navigating uncharted territories,
to boldly go where no man has gone before,
showcasing the parallels between the uncertainty and challenges in both space and the Old West. Lastly, this chapter does introduce us to the intriguing subplot that draws from Here Come the Brides, revolving around a bet concerning the marital fate of the New Bedford women. This additional narrative thread, intertwined with Spock's personal struggle, introduces potential for further complexities and character developments as the story unfolds.
Oh, Spock has feelings too, hidden in green hue, beneath the stars and the infinite view. From the Vulcan's heart to the sky so blue, in every cosmic beat, Spock has feelings.
Dearie, remove that arm from my shoulder, or I'll remove that arm from your shoulder.
Of pine trees in the air, boys don't